Hello, welcome back. So I've been seeing a lot of ads for LingoPie, so I decided to try it and review it for you. Now LingoPie have not asked me to make this video. So things I'm going to cover in this video: is LingoPie better than just watching Netflix with subtitles because it costs about the same price? Is it useful for beginner level, and what level is it most useful for? And how can you get the most out of it once you have a subscription? Like I said, LingoPie have not asked me to make this video. They don't even know I'm making it. I just like to review language learning apps because I'm a qualified English teacher and I work in the language learning technology industry, and I've been learning Spanish for 20 years. And when you have an advanced level in a language, it can be difficult to find apps that are challenging or useful enough. So that is one thing I was looking for with LingoPie. I currently run the app Spoken, which is an app that provides speaking practice for intermediate level language learners. It's something you could use alongside an app like LingoPie as a way to get speaking practice. Overall, I really liked LingoPie. It's quite rare that I find a language learning app that I'm impressed with. I'm really bored of seeing low-quality AI chatbot apps, but LingoPie was something completely different from that. Basically, it lets you watch TV shows with subtitles that are in both your native language and target language, and you can click words and phrases in the subtitles to save them to a list, which you're tested on later. The first thing I'll say is that I don't think this is useful for beginners. Or rather, it wouldn't feel like an easy or enjoyable experience for a beginner. You would either end up just reading the English subtitles, which you can do on Netflix, or you would be constantly pausing the video to read the translated words, check the word meanings, which would ruin the enjoyment to the point where it's too much like work and you lose the flow of what you're watching. Also, you can slow the audio to beginner speed, but at that point the audio becomes a bit distorted so that it's not really enjoyable or clear to listen to.
Igual sale del coma y le quedan secuelas para siempre.
Despite not being useful for beginners, I think this is very useful for intermediate level, definitely upper intermediate level, where you understand 80 or 90% of what you hear and you just need to occasionally check the meaning of a word. That's the level I'm at, and it felt perfect for that. At intermediate level or higher, this is definitely a much more useful experience than just watching Netflix. But if you're at a level where you need to always be reading subtitles, I think this is not right for you because it's hard to listen and read at the same time. They feel like different processing skills. So to be able to read everything, you kind of have to block out the listening bit, which defeats the whole point of the experience. But I really appreciated being able to set the speed at intermediate level, which is slower than full speed, but still sounds natural. I did sometimes, or quite often, see bad or weird translations. So that was one negative about this. And it was also bad when those showed up in one of the quizzes, because you shouldn't be tested on something that's wrong. Right, how to get the most out of your subscription. Now, it would be very easy to get lazy and just treat it like watching TV and constantly read the English subtitles. But you may as well be using Netflix for that. So you need to be motivated and intentional about how you use it. One thing I loved was that every word you click in the subtitles is added to a quiz that automatically pops up at the end of the episode. And when you're choosing the correct meaning of the word, you see that little part of the video again to revise it in context.
Yo me apaño.
Sí, ya, yo me apaño.
So for this to be worthwhile, you should be ready to pause the video, click on words, and then do the quizzes. Now, of course, just listening to a language is not enough. No. You need speaking practice too. So for that, I recommend the app Spoken, created by me, currently available for English or Spanish. Or if you want another language, try Langua, which is great for speaking practice, in my opinion. Now, for every episode or short video, LingoPie pre-teaches you some words you're going to hear. This is so useful, especially for the lower level end, and has real value from a teaching point of view. I think it's a sign that this app was made by people who have experience of language teaching, which is often not the case for the AI chatbot apps. There are long series and one-off short videos. I watched a great Spanish video called Hook Up, which was a very clever short story. I recommend it. So those are my thoughts on LingoPie. I have a lot of other videos where I talk about language learning apps and AI for language learning, so check those out too.